Yo, check this out.
Oh. Look, none of us did it, all right? There's a dead white woman in the foyer, and I'm making you nervous?
We got a call about a domestic disturbance at this residence.
I think I know what's going on.
Jerah! We the victims.
Jerah, no! There are 2 dead bodies inside.
James rented an Airbnb, man. People know we're here.
The best way to clear our names is if we just tell the cops the truth.
How know y'all ain't doing?
What did you do?
It's the house. The house is killing people. You need to stop messing around with these white women.
Oh yeah, that too.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Mahogany Drive, playing the festival circuit. I caught it at DC Shorts, and it blew me away. It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. And you see on the screen, I had to get the brother behind Mahogany Drive because it had me rolling. Let me tell you, it made me not even want to vote for my own film that was in the showcase. That tells you how dope this brother is. I got the writer, the director, the star, the producer, the talented Jerah Milligan. Did I get it right?
Yeah, there we go. You caught it.
All right. I knew I was going to tell myself, don't mess it up. And there it goes.
No, listen. The fact that you knew, it happens to me so often, it's insane. I used to steal James's name before I met him and just would say James. But now that I'm always around James, he gets so mad because I go to Starbucks and I'm like, hey, just put James on it. And he'll order something. He's like, it's not mine. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. It's just my go-to name. Sorry.
Hilarious. I love it. Well, hey, Jerah, it's a pleasure to have you on on Nerds Rule the World. As I said, man, I was blown away by the talent, by the skills, the writing, the energy, the chemistry, just the whole package that you put together with that project, man. If you don't mind, I know I saw the Vulture interviews, I saw the Slam Dance love, I saw, I was doing all my little internet research. You got the love, and again, you got mad love from me. But if you can take us back, and then we can talk on other things, but I'm just amazed by this project, bro. I know it started in 2016, and I can see why it's getting that love, man. And I'm happy it came out, and I can't wait for more. But tell me how it started.
I mean, it's funny because my comedy partners and I, John Braylock, James III, James Carr, James III, John Braylock, the 3 of us who are in it, we had performed together for a long time with this team, Astronomy Club, and then we started doing a podcast that got really popular called Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood. And because of that podcast and doing improv, we started doing videos with Comedy Central together, and we had opportunity to pitch a show to IFC, which was kind of like our kind of dark comedic take on like the Twilight Zone. And we wrote, 8 episodes of the show just ourselves. It was one of those things you learn what's a good deal and what's a bad deal once you're in it. But we wrote, all 8 episodes ourselves, and IFC ended up going away network-wise, and it took us a long time to get the show back. And so for me, I had been directing sketches and stuff for, MTV and Comedy Central, and I directed some of Astronomy Club and Desus and Mero, but I felt like I still couldn't get a narrative directors meeting. Whereas I have friends who, did music videos or did other things that I felt like people were disrespecting sketch. Because I feel like, when you think of sketch comedy, we're working in different genres. We have to have a beginning, middle, and end. And we usually have to do it fast with no money. Yes. So in my mind, I'm like, I just wanted to prove I could do something that was narrative based, and we finally got the scripts back. And plus, I talk to John and James either together or separately every single day. And I just wanted to film something, so I asked them, could I do the first story? Because this story was the start of our pilot. Our pilot was kind of you watch a kid's cartoon, and it's in a half an hour, it's 2 mini stories or 2 mini episodes, like if you watch SpongeBob or something. So we kind of did that with the show, where we had 2 stories that were connected with a narrator. So I basically took the first story, myself and James Carr, who's our who writes with us, and I shortened it and kind of rewrote certain parts of it so it could feel like a more cohesive story. Took the narrator out,
Mhm.
We crowdfunded, Braylock and I mean the guys really just let me like kind of take it. So it was like, they did the crowdfunding video with me, but when it came to like staffing up and things of that nature, they kind of just let me run with it. And because we all wrote it together, I always would check in. But as far as like, shots and crew and like the music for a good portion of, they kind of just let me rock out.
Nice.
And, of course, I would run everything by them just because I was like, I want you guys to, I don't want to like take something that we all did.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun, man. It was a good process where we wrote a feature, but also there's another short story that we had that I came up with and that we all wrote that I'm now rewriting to be the next short film.
Okay.
But which could be a feature. It's just that that one will involve way more money. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm getting the money from, but I'm like literally planning for it now. So I'm like, I'm already getting the crew. I'm already moving forward. Like I got money. I don't have the money yet. So I'm like, we're just going to keep going and hopefully figure itself out.
Nah, man. I hate the Hollywood system in just in certain ways, bro. Like,
oh man,
I can only imagine. And it's just like, we always as POC creatives have to pivot because the way it is. And it's just sad, man. And you're so fucking talented, bro. And I'm basing it off one project, but just knowing and just getting a little bit of background and your collective, man, I can see the talent there.
I appreciate it. It's harder when you don't have, I think I give a lot of credit. And so I understand the credit that's given and also the hatred that's given to like Nepo babies, because in my mind, I'm like, it's so much help that comes with that. Even if you were one of those actors that or creators who changed their last name, I'm like, if your dad or uncle is like, I don't know, a Coppola or something, you can ask for advice. You've been on set. That knowledge is so helpful. You know what I mean? And to me, it's like, I love when I see people who are like, yeah, that's my dad is, Denzel Washington. Like, it's like, I love people like that. I just always have a hard time when people are like, well, we did it ourselves. I'm like, you probably did, but you didn't start from the same place. You know what I mean? Like, even if you change your name, like, you didn't start from the same place. Where I'm like, especially as POCs, when I see Denzel's son or like Will Smith's son in projects, I'm like, thank God, because we need people of color have never been able to benefit from nepotism in this kind of way. So I'm like, when I get on and I had kids, what you want to do? Like, let one of my little cousins, like, I want to act cool. Let's go get you a Disney meeting. Like, for what? Like, why? Like, this stuff is hard, especially when you have resources. It's like, bro, give me everything. I'm gonna give anything I got. I'm gonna pass on the knowledge. I'm gonna hook up. Like, James has a 1-year-old, and I'm like, yo, this 1-year-old wants to act. We will give her every piece of knowledge we got. Like, that's just what it's going to be.
I love that. I love that. Yo, that's energy right there that I appreciate and love, man. I'm Filipino. I'm part of like an actors group, Barkada group. I think I was telling you earlier, a lot of the strike captains are part of my Barkada actors group. And it's all about community and building community, because especially, well, I'm speaking from the Filipinx community, man. Sometimes we hold each other back, because unless I'm going to come up at the same level, but we got to not do that, because we already have the behemoth that is already white Hollywood already. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do it within our own culture, in our own community. So
that's hard though. Like I had a person, like one of my friend's dad, has nothing to do with entertainment, but one of his best friends was a working actor, like older. And, my friend's dad was very adamant about like getting this guy to meet with me when I was younger. And he did, but he wasn't helpful to me at all. And I was talking to my friend's dad about it recently. And he was saying like, yeah, he asked him about it. And the guy was like, well, I didn't get help coming up. And I'm like, to me, I think you have to, like Issa said, work across instead of trying to work up. Because to me, I think about like, the Adam Sandlers, who like not only did they work across, but they brought everybody up with them. Like, you look at like Judd Apatow, he brought everybody, literally everybody in 40-Year-Old Virgin is famous now. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like they all had movies outside of that. Like he did the thing. And for me, it's tough because, when I see certain Black creators, they don't be putting like the famous, I'm talking about like the famous ones. They're not putting new Black and brown people in these movies. Like the person I think who should get credit, who doesn't get enough credit, is two people. I think Larry Wilmore and Forrest Whitaker will go down in history when people actually research like how influential Larry Wilmore was with Insecure and other Black shows, how influential Forrest Whitaker was with Fine Ryan Coogler for doing Dope, like all these projects. I'm like, these people are unsung heroes where you would think other bigger name people who are always at the Oscars and stuff would be doing that.
Yes,
and
sir.
they don't. Like they just don't. And it's quite unfortunate, but I do think the newer generations, like the Isas, the Donalds, I think the ones who are creators aren't doing that, which is good to see, which is really, they're setting a really good precedence. So
yes, sir.
I'm like, everybody, let's look, open the door, let's all rush it. It's like when you like trying to get in the club, but it's like, hey man, go to the back, go to the side, open the door real quick, we coming in. To me, that's what we gotta do. Just get in, and it's like squatter rights. I'm here now. You can't kick me out.
Sure.
I'm here now.
I love it. Yes, sir. Man, real talk. All right. So I know people are like, man, you gonna talk about Mahogany Drive? Y'all talking about business stuff. Y'all business cast. But there's filmmaker cast that appreciate this, that watch the channel too. So that's for y'all. Yeah, so we'll get back into that. I'll bring you back to Mahogany Drive. All right. So you brought your cats together. You put this together. But let's talk about the amazing women. Both that are behind me on the ground, and then the ones that come in and then sadly fall to the ground as well.
I mean, the women
just casting this up, you know,
it was what's fascinating is that everyone is just kind of, we're in our life. Like our main producer, Blaine Morris, I knew from acting class in New York. Like I knew her from acting class. She was much younger than me. She was on the American version of Skins. So I knew her as an actor. But at some point, she ended up going back. She ended up going to USC to study film. So I think I had posted on Instagram, like, hey, I need a producer. I'm trying to do a short. She responded quick. What's so funny is she's Afro-Latino, I believe, like Mexican and Black, I believe. And I had so many, I will say this, I had 3 Black men in particular who are producers who I know produce pretty good stuff, kind of like shunned, like kind of like dragged me along and like shunned it. When I was like, it's so crazy because some of those people are the same people who are super congratulatory afterwards. And I was like, what is this? You clout chasing asthma? But when I think about Blaine was really good because Blaine had resources I didn't have, where like I've been in like a network system for so long. Like anytime I've shot a sketch or something, I'm usually hired and the production company is hiring me. So like I've never had to staff up myself. Whereas her coming from the indie scene, I mean, outside of myself, and I think James Carr, all the production heads were women. Like, and that was her. Like, it wasn't even on whether or not she had the plan or not, you know, she never told me, but like she, you know, put resumes and people in front of me and they happened to be all women. Like our DP, Veronica Boza, her other short film is Oscar nominated. Like it will be Oscar nominated this year because she's that good. Like, I mean, everybody from makeup, like, I mean, our DP and camera op were 2 women. And I'm looking at this camera op and she's moving. Like, she's like, and the thing is, I was like, hey, just so you know, I want it to be handheld. And I was like, I wanted a certain camera with a certain lens. And I was like, this shit gonna be heavy. Yo, they were out here rocking. And then when it came to the cast, we kind of leaned on friends like like in the photo behind you, Olivia, who I've known for a minute, was also in that same acting class I met Blaine in, who happened to be in LA at the time. One of the cops, the younger cop, Addie, the 3 of us have known since New York days. We had a web series on seriously.tv/complex, and like Addie was our script soup, but now Addie is in like Mad Movies and she offered to do it. The scientist is John's wife. The other cop is one of John's friends. The first dead white woman is one of my good friends, Jana, who filmed, I think, the first day when she had to be on the ground for hours on her birthday. Like that was her birthday. It was crazy.
That's respect. Yeah. That's love. That's love.
It was so much. It was like, It's crazy. And also what's so interesting about it is that when it gets to the end of the movie, we have wrote certain jokes. And then, people would improvise on set, but there's a sequence of like, my character trying to come back in and still trying to get like Olivia to get in the shower. And when we did one take, all the women were like, no, I'm gay. But then one of them was like, we can't have the reason they don't want to date, like hook up with him be because they're gay. They could just not like him. You know what I mean? Like they could just not be attracted. Like one could say it. So to me, not only were the women in the cast, but the women on set so helpful because we're making a movie that deals with both race and gender. Yeah. And so it's technically 4 men who wrote it. So I needed them to be like, hey, I know what you're trying to do, but this ain't it. So it was good to kind of have that like checks and balance in real time to like be able to like move and maneuver things. Because we wanted women on our side, you know what I mean? Especially when we got towards the end. So yeah, it was a really good process. I can't explain. It was a really, really good process.
That's fantastic. And the reception, like you won a couple awards, you're getting the love all around. You definitely got my love.
Thank you.
How has it been, man? Like, hopefully, well, I guess going back to what brought you to the process, I guess in the first place, right? You had all these amazing storylines in mind, and you had the different thing with the studio or whatever. But okay, you pulled this one. You were like, I want to make this one to just show that you could do a narrative outside of sketch, right? So I'm hoping, and my fingers are crossed, bro, because I see the talent. Like all my people with money out there, energy. Like this is a talented cat right here. Get down,
please.
So
send the money.
Like, are you seeing the love back? Like, is this pulling people to you? Like,
I mean, it's so funny.
Or at least you're building a catalog to show people.
I think it's like I was talking to my James the third, who is in the short as well, about this exact thing last night. And it's interesting because I didn't make the movie to get into festivals. Like it was honestly was never a thing I thought of. But then we ended up bringing a producer on last minute, being like, all right, let's see if we can get into a couple. And right now we're in like 22 plus, and we got into like 5 or 6 Oscar qualifying fests. And I was like, oh, these are great. But then I will say, once we finally got into those festivals and I started learning about like just the resources people had for like short films. Like, I mean, I've been to certain festivals and we've been in them, but like the films we're screening with have like 100K plus for a 10-minute film, or like I'm looking at films with, Spider-Man or John Travolta in it. And I'm like, my God, this is crazy. So for me, it has been cool to be in these festivals and be amongst these other films. I think to me, the love that I'm waiting to see if it pans out, and I'm, trying to set as many meetings as possible. Because what's unfortunate is like we got this movie that kind of made headway during a strike. And I'm unfortunately in all 3 unions, like DGA, WJ, and SAG. So like, even if somebody's like, hey, come meet us, I can't physically go to meet them or technically to them. Even if it's like, as a director, I can't go to like a lot and be like, hey, I'm only directing right now, knowing I got to go and pick it tomorrow at that same lot.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, we're working on the next short. We do have a couple meetings. And my thing is, it would be really nice, because now that we have awards, to be able to say, hey, this 12-minute film that I made for very little money in my friend's house, with one camera has done this much. Imagine if, we had a couple of locations and 2 cameras,
Exactly.
So I think it's getting to that point, which is good. And I think, now we're trying to make sure that we're putting the best foot forward in that. Now I know, like, when you have a meeting, making sure you tell them, hey, we got the next script ready. Because before I didn't, now I'm like, oh, it's ready. Again, I got the crew, find me the money and we can go tomorrow. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. So it's getting there. It is getting there. So I don't want to complain about it, because I feel very fortunate that we've gotten into some of these festivals, and like, I have trophies at my house and I never thought I would have that. So like, that's been kind of the coolest thing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's going in a good direction. So I'm happy about it.
Well, my fingers are crossed for you, bro, because amazing, dude. just it blew me away, man. It blew me away.
Thank you.
And you see and you respect the talent, and then you just hope you can like, hey, get that energy, it'll transfer a little bit so I can put it onto my own shit and the people around me as well, and keep
Thank
the
you.
energy flowing. Positive energy creates even more
I
positive
love
things.
that. Yes,
So
I agree.
I hope it
agree.
for you, brother. Hope it
Thank
for
you, man. Yeah, man. We making moves. I think it's one of those things of just like finding patience and happiness in it all. I think like there's so many times when like you deal with the entertainment business, you get so caught up in like what's next. And I'm like, oh, it's been nice to just, I couldn't make it to Austin, but my comedy partners made it to Austin and met people. And I'm like, now I'm making friends at festivals, which is, and we won an award in DC, and I'm from Southeast. So it's like, I remember growing up in DC and nobody, like, I remember growing up because, DC is more about the government than the arts. So I remember growing up and nobody was encouraging about the entertainment business. So the fact to come back to DC and win an award in a place where like people were looking at me crazy growing up is like a chef's kiss for me.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah, brother. Love it. I had to
Very-
pivot to doing industrial work because I'm an actor with a security clearance. So
Yeah,
that
right.
just tells you, just what you got to do to keep moving. If you have a passion and a love for something, you make it happen, and but yeah, that's what I'm doing.
you
But
never
I
know,
love that
man.
you're making it happen, bro.
No, but I'm saying like even what you're doing right now is like the one beauty I can say is like it is a rough life, but one day, like one yes can change your entire life. Like I've had friends who I've known been struggling for a long time, and now they're in Marvel movies. You know what I mean? And it's like you just needed one yes. And don't get me wrong, I think waiting for that yes is probably the hardest part because you got to do a bunch. You got to put yourself in a situation to get the yes. And people around you may get yeses while you still get no's, but like the day your yes comes, it could be the thing that changes not only your life, but everybody around you. So I'm like, that's the kind of thing that I'm greatly looking forward to because that way you can bring everybody back. Film a movie in DC. That's my dream. I want to make
Same.
I want to make a gangster movie that is as prestigious as the Italian Mob. I feel like every time someone makes a movie about like, and again, I'm not trying to glamorize drug dealers, but there's something about it where I'm like, you look up to what Martin Scorsese has done. Like people love The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I mean by love is like it is awarded. These things are awarded. But if you make something about like a black drug dealer who like outsmarted the government or something like that, it doesn't have the same like cachet.
Yeah.
Like even American Gangster stars Denzel, but that movie opens and closes with Russell Crowe, a cop. Like it literally, like one of the greatest black, white, Italian, whatever kingpins of all time. Denzel plays, and that movie is bookended by the white dude. That's crazy.
I hadn't thought about that joint in a while, but you are absolutely right. Because I actually had a family member that's in American Gangster. So yeah, that's
it's a good movie. And it's like, and you think about it, to this day, Denzel plays one of the most famous people we ever had. Like real life, not fictional, real life. He ain't playing like a Scarface. This is a real dude, but that movie's through line is from the white guy. And it's like, that is crazy. And that's probably the only prestigious gangster movie we got.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by it. So I'm like, how do we do these things that we've been excluded from? Like, I think someone told me, and this is probably my last little tangent, but like, I love films, and I'm like, I love films where like I've studied directors' work. Like, if you told me like tomorrow, who could you work with? I would have a list ready. But also, I do know some of my favorite directors have never had a black lead, period, or a Latino lead, or an Asian lead, ever. And if they did, it's probably about their race, if they had one. It's like, and what hurts me about that is there are so many people that I love, people who you like, oh man, when I get a chance to make a movie, I'm gonna do a shot like this. I'm gonna do the coloring like this. And some of these people have been around for what, 20, 40, 50 years? Never. And it's fascinating to me, man. It's like, people are here talking about what's cinema and what's not cinema. But like the cinema you do excludes me. So I was like, how am I supposed to do with that? So
Bruh.
I wanted that. My goal is to change that. I want to give us prestige, and I hate to say it, but we do need the awards to go with the prestige, and that doesn't focus on our pain. I feel like right now, the person of color, but that's so tricky because I feel like anytime you're pitching something, even I go through it now, where it's like our film, the black guys, if you will, represent men, but also they technically are the bad guys. When you get to the end, but usually if that movie was different, we would have been the victims because of our skin color versus what we can do to somebody else because of our gender. Like our next film is about like why you don't touch a black woman's hair is because, black women are protected by an entity. And so like, if you touch black woman's hair without consent, this entity will like hunt you down and kill you. So it's another horror comedy. But again, in that.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So it's funny. It'll be scary. But also it's something about like, even as a black man, there is a privilege I have that black women don't have, especially a darker skinned black woman. You know what I mean? So like, there's something to talk about with that versus like, oh, look, man, like Filipino black. Look, if you're brown in America, it is tough. But I feel like we live so many things outside of just our brown skin. And so for me, I just want to make sure we're like doing things and making things that just aren't reflective of like the abuse and punishment we have to take because we were born, darker. Like, I feel like we're more than that. And I feel like our films should represent more than racism in space, racism with time travel. Literally, I saw a movie that was like a black person getting shot Groundhog's Day style. And I was like, bruh, this is traumatic. It's like literally trauma is what I'm watching. Like, it's constantly.
That Tyrone joint with Jamie Foxx had me feeling that way recently this past year. I don't know if you saw it. I mean, they cloned Tyrone. Great film, but it's like, but that Groundhog effect was in that. And that was
it's a great film. But the thing is, like, and I actually met that director before going to Slam Dance, and he's wonderful. And to me, at least that movie is more creative, where like there's cloning involved, and like it's. But then it's even like to sell a thing, because we're never pitching to black people, and if we are, we're pitching to one.
Snap! We're losing Jerah real quick.
Race movie has replaced.
There you are.
Movie,
lost for a second, Jerah, but you're back.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, like, basically we live in a time right now where, we're not pitching to black people. And if we are, we're pitching to one singular black person who then has to take our idea and pitch it to a person who's non-person of color, most likely. And, back in the 90s or something, basically you always had like the drug movies that came in the 90s. Then if you wanted an Oscar, you had to do a slavery movie. And now I feel like you got to do a race movie, but a race movie in a different genre. So like, this is the race movie that's like, Frankenstein, or this is the race movie that's an office movie. This is the race movie in space. This is the race movie in time travel. And again, a lot of these projects are wonderful and creative, but we just don't have a diversity in that, where I'm like, hey, yo, bro, I just want to see a black person make Superbad. Like, what does the black Superbad look like? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What is our Wedding Crashers? Our 40-year-old virgin? Like, what does that look like? You know what I mean? When we put like Latinos in, like, I love what's that movie? Oh my goodness. It came out this summer. Why's my mind going blank? It was 4 Asian women. Joyride.
Oh, yes, Joyride.
Joyride, I was like, Joyride, I've never got to see Asians, period, let alone Asian women get to have a chance to be raunchy, like go for it, just like you would have saw a white boy do. I'm like, give me more of that and promote it. I know the strike happened, but I'm like, promote that thing, man. Like, give it the shots, So I'm here for it. Like, even Dwayne, my friend Dwayne, did The Blackening. That movie.
Oh, amazing. Love that. One of my favorites.
So funny. And it's like, it's just creative. And I'm like, yo, man, like, give people a chance to be creative. Like, I hate the word take the chance, but like, you can give somebody not famous and not a Nepo baby money. Like, it's okay. Like, you may come out with a new franchise and not have to use an IP. Like, you can probably do something new. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I feel
That's
that.
where I'm at.
I feel that. If I might, this is a slight tangent, but a recommendation for you, brother, because I've been screening a lot of films, getting ready for award season, because I'm CCA and HCA. There was a film, and I recently spoke with the writer-director, Cord Jefferson. He has a film called American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright, Issa Rae.
Oh, I've seen the trailer for it. I cannot wait.
Brother.
Yes, I've seen the trailer.
My film,
I cannot wait to watch it.
It's my film of the year, sir. I am going to be throwing all the love come award season. Favorite film of the year, bro. And it spoke to my soul as a creative. You've seen the trailer, right?
I bet. I've seen the trailer, and literally when I watched that trailer, I was like, this is exactly what I feel like. I feel like if I make something, it's like, is it hood enough? Is it like,
Yes.
We're
walking that tangent for white people and shit. Like it hit on so many levels, dog. I'm telling you, highly recommend.
But also what's funny about it is even casting Jeffrey Wright, I think is interesting because Jeffrey Wright, I don't know if you remember, is black. Well, he's Afro-Latino, but when he first came out, he was in movies like Shaft playing a straight up like Latino from the Bronx. And like he is one of the black people who some of these like white directors won't, how it's like white directors won't put black people in movies. He is one of the guys who can get in those movies, not as the lead, but he can get in some of those movies. So the fact that guy is in this movie as a person which is questioning what blackness is to sell to Hollywood is such a beautiful casting to me. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I believe it's going to be great.
Once you hear it, man, or see it, man, I'd love to hear your thoughts, but like hands down, I don't know another film that's on the list coming up that's going to top it for me. But highly recommend. But yeah, brother, Jerah.
Yeah, you got it.
You're amazing, bro.
Thank you, man.
Again, I have my eyes on you. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. I hope as these other projects develop, because I'm gonna be in your corner cheering for them to happen. I'd love to give you your flowers when they do happen, because I just think you're a talented cat, man, and it really blew me away. And I see you got some on the way, but because we are on strike. I know you said they listed, but I don't want to get you in trouble. But it looks like you got something with AMC brewing and another project.
Yeah, man. Listen, you know what it is.
Got something on the come up.
It's going. We just got to get it on the air. I feel like that's been it can be in development, but until it's on air, that shit don't exist to me. It's like a fictional thing. That's like winning the lottery. And like, I got the ticket, but until I can cash this ticket in, who knows what can happen before I can get there. That's why people dress up with masks, cover their hands so you can't tell if they black or white, because it's like, let me turn this baby in and get my money first.
Well, hey, if y'all are watching this, y'all are funders, your producers out there, man, holler at Jerah. The brother's so talented, man. I'm gonna have all of his links in the description below.
Thank you,
brother. It's a pleasure to chat with you. I hope I can have you back as you make this magic happen. And if it don't, I'm gonna try and make the magic happen for you and tell all of the people, hey, holler at this cat, because this brother's badass, man.
I appreciate you, man. All right, brother.
Hey, next time you in DC, we gotta get up again.
I'm gonna try to come to DC soon. Actually, I'm gonna try to come in the next couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, so I will email you, because I'm like, I don't even know DC no more. I was like, even the fact of where that festival was, I'm like, I don't even remember anything being here. Like, what was this? Like, what? Like, where are we?
yeah, no doubt. Y'all, Jerah Milligan, Mahogany Drive. All of his links in the description below. If you can catch Mahogany Drive, catch it. Show him all the love. And as these other projects come up, I'm going to be hyping it up, and hopefully I can bring him back to talk about it. So that way we don't get in trouble, Shy, because y'all control the system, and we're trying to play around with the system, but we just, we'll abide by the rules right now until we can take over and show y'all what the real is. Anyway, Jerah Milligan, your boy, Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World.